Hi, and welcome to Screens in Focus podcast, where we share and connect as we spotlight our favorite shows and movies. I'm Diana, and today we're talking about the movie Nope and Jordan Peele movies. Joining me today is Shay. Hi, Shay. How are you?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing good. I'm a bit hot. It was 107, but bless the AC.
I know, right? Well, I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so glad you agreed to come on the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just honored to have you here. And I just want everyone to know what a talent you are. And I'm going to read your IMDb. That's what I'm going to do. Shay Fernandez is a versatile, comedic, and dramatic artist who performs in film, television, theater, sketch, and short and long form improvisation, which is where I met you, Shay. It was so much fun.
Yep, good times. I had the honor of breaking the stage with Miss Diana, and we've had a lot of good times. You're very talented yourself, madam.
Aw, you're so sweet. We've met a lot of good friends there, too.
Yes, we did.
A lot of good people. Mm-hmm. So it's awesome to belong to that community. All right. We are doing Nope. And Nope is under a horror film, right? So I thought, what could be a better question of the day than what is your favorite horror film? And I love to do polls. So I did a poll. Would you like to know the results of that poll?
I would love to know. As well.
All right. Poll results. I put out about 20 picks, and I let people write them in also. I was a little bit surprised because I had a third, a second, and a first. And the third all of a sudden grew. Just today, people were voting. So it was kind of cool. So it started out as a tie for third, but then it ended up being a four-way tie for third. So those movies are Rosemary's Baby, which I love that movie, Night of the Living Dead, gotta have some zombies, Scream, and Conjuring, or any of the Conjuring films. And in second place was, actually this one was vying for first place for a while, but in second place is Halloween, any of them, tied with Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock. I think that's so cool. These are such great films.
They are, and I'm a huge Hitchcock fan, and even got a Michael Myers t-shirt on right now.
I know. I love your t-shirt. Actually, is that a Michael Myers t-shirt? I know it says, oh, yeah, serial killer. Ah, ha, ha, ha.
It's Michael Myers, but it says serial killer as if you're eating cereal, the lovely anytime breakfast snack.
Yes. Okay, so number one. Do you want to give any guesses at all?
I don't know, because this is already so many amazing movies.
It is a classic. And the number one in this poll is The Shining.
Oh, right on. Cool.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick directed and written by Stephen King, the novel. So yeah, that's a great film. You know, what's interesting? It's a little bit, well, I hate to compare and then someone come back and say, that's nothing the same. But what I'm going to say is that The Shining just has so many underlying themes and different things that are happening in it, which is the same with Nope and Jordan Peele movies. So I think that it's kind of in the same vein, same realm, that those type of movies. It's more than just a scary movie. It just has a lot of
a lot of depth.
Yeah, a lot of depth into it. Yeah, absolutely.
I totally agree with that.
Okay, so tell me, what is your favorite horror film?
Well, I dig all those, but of course, anything Jordan Peele. I mean, that guy is he's killing it and always has brilliant actors to back it all up. Halloween. All of them. I mean, of course, the original one is always going to be a classic, but even like what Rob Zombie did with them is amazing. A Quiet Place, both of them. I think a third one's going to be coming out too, which...
Oh, yeah.
I just dig it. And of course, I got a shout out to my homegirl, Betsy Baker, who was in The Evil Dead, who played Linda. Shout out to her. I did improv with her in Santa Monica at West Side.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. She's great. So it's kind of cool, wonderful person, wonderful actor, wonderful improviser. But I really, anything suspense and scary, I mean, I really like it. And Halloween, even like Freddy Krueger, even, the old slasher films are a lot of fun. And, even for, I love the holiday Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. And this past year I got to, because we got the vote, the voting polls opened up a little sooner. I took advantage of it. It was during COVID, so you couldn't really do a whole lot, or we're still unfortunate. But I dressed up as Michael Myers and I removed my mask, but I went and voted as Michael Myers.
Oh my gosh.
For Halloween and for voting. I did my duties, school duties.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, good times.
I love it.
Yeah, but these are all great movies.
My cat is meowing by the door because it wants to come in.
Well, I think it's great that your cat's coming knocking at the door, because Stephen King's The Shining went out. And Stephen King, I love the pretty cats. I love all the different animals. But Stephen King always makes them kitties very evil. So I thought it was very interesting that your cat against the Shining.
That's so true, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. So I want to share with you my favorites, and my favorites tend to be not the super duper slasher ones. I prefer the ones that are just a little more thought provoking. So one of my favorites is Rosemary's Baby with Mia Farrow and directed by Roman Polanski. And also Hitchcock's Psycho, which were in there. And just for people that don't know, I think people might know, but maybe you don't. But, Janet Leigh was in Psycho, and her daughter is Jamie Lee Curtis, who's in Halloween. So I just think that that's kind of cool that these are very iconic horror films that a mother and daughter were performed in. So I just thought that's really cool. But I forgot to add, and I just want to mention this, is in the poll, it had actually one of my favorite movies, but I didn't even put it in the poll. Somebody wrote it in, and that's Carrie. So somebody wrote the movie Carrie in. They wrote It Follows in. They wrote The Descent, Poltergeist, Midsommar, House of a Thousand Corpses, Insidious, Sinister, and Chucky. And I wanted to say those because I always feel like if people write them in, that they're passionate about them, or there's just something really important to them, or whatever it is. And I just want to give credit to the movies that the people wrote in. Now, almost all the movies that I had on there received votes. I think there was just 2 that didn't get a vote, but everything else got votes. So people just love horror films. They're just... And
those are all really great. I mean, some of them make me laugh, like Child's Play. I mean, it's funny. It's great. I mean, even the late, great, brilliant John Ritter was in one of them. And, of course, the lovely, luscious Jennifer Tilly. But those are really fun. And Puppet Master. I mean, there's a lot of them. The Tall Man, was it Phantasm or something?
Oh,
It was really fun. But I'm with you, too. I like the thought-provoking, like the suspense, the story, which Jordan Peele, he brings that, and just a newer generation, and bringing, of course, the diversity that film and TV desperately need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I did pick 3, and my third one was Nope.
Oh, there you
go. So it is one of my favorites. It has become one of my favorites. The more I talk about it, the more we think about it. My family, because my family has seen it too. I can't wait to watch it again. I want to own it. Mm-hmm. There's just something about it. I was watching a trailer earlier today, and I was getting all sucked in again. I'm like, oh, I forgot all this happened. Because when you watch it on the big screen and then you're ready to talk about it, you don't remember all these little pieces. So that little trailer that I was watching was just really cool to rewatch again. I'm like, I can't wait till it comes out and I can watch it over and over again. So
where did you actually first watch it? At the movie theater?
Yeah, at the movie theater. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I went to the drive-ins and saw it over in the East Side.
Oh.
Yeah, that was fun. Just because,
It's spooky out. Somebody could grab at your window.
It kind of like in the movie Twister when the tornado comes through the drive-in movie theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're over there, it's trippy sometimes. So that was fun.
Oh, it's fun. All right, friends out there, we want to know what you think. Did we touch upon your favorite horror movie? If we did or didn't, we'd love to hear from you. You can leave us a comment on social media or email us at screensinfocus@gmail.com. Would love to hear what you have to say, and the links are in the show notes. Okay, so we are going to touch upon Jordan Peele's a couple of his movies before we get into Nope. We're not going to spend too much time on them, but we do want to mention them because I feel like we had talked about already that his movies, there's always a theme. There's always something he wants to say through them, and he just does it so brilliantly. And so I think that we see this in his other films. So I want to mention Get Out, which was in 2017. He wrote and directed this movie, and it was his directorial debut. It received critical acclaim and had box office earnings. And the plot follows a young Black man played by Daniel Kaluuya who uncovers shocking secrets when he meets the family of his white girlfriend. Just right there, just that whole sentence right there. It's just so, it's just sounds like a cool setup, but it's so unexpected. The thing is that with Jordan Peele, he was tackling horror, but also dealing with racism.
Mm-hmm.
And how he incorporates that into this. And he had said about this particular film that no matter how hard we scream, the system silences us.
Yeah.
And so that's what he was putting out in this film. And I read somewhere that he said, you know how when you go to sleep and you feel like you're falling in your dream or whatever, and then you wake up right before you actually like hit the ground? And he thought, well, what if you don't wake up? And so that was kind of where he got, some of his inspiration for writing this movie. What did you think of Get Out?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I dug it all around. The acting was brilliant. I mean, he brings it all. It's just like, he does so much without, even in Nope. There's not, even Nope, I don't want to go too much right into Nope, because we're talking about Get Out. But he doesn't even, you don't have to always say so much. It's like with the eyes, it's what you're feeling in that moment. Everybody be tripping a little when they hear someone stirring their little teacup now.
Yeah, right. You're like, who gave it to you? What they put in it?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but he does do a lot of kind of body snatching shit, which is freaky, mind control, manipulation, gaslighting,
which is scary, right? And it has remnants of a little bit of Rosemary's Baby, because it almost felt like she wasn't in control of her pregnancy and her baby. It was like this cult wanted her baby. And so it's just someone else taking over, what is so personal to you. So that's what was happening in Get Out too. That's
what's happening. And it's a trip, because that's what I like about Jordan Peele's movies. It's like he thinks outside of the box. He's very much an artist. It's just and it's very creative. And Daniel brings it. Man, I love that I saw him now. And also Nope, he's been in other wonderful films. Yeah. Academy Award winner,
Yeah.
And Jordan Peele, I think also there's people who have a lot of training and a lot of credits for not necessarily known mainstream. And he brings those people in too, and gives them opportunities because they're amazing actors. Cinematography, everything. It's just everyone's on point, and they're all working as a team because they're editing everything. It's like they're bringing out really beautiful cinema storytelling, and on point with all that all around.
So true. And so let's go into Us, which was in 2019. So this story follows Adelaide Wilson and her family, who are attacked by a group of menacing doppelgangers. Peele said about this, what I have talked about so far is that we as a culture, we are afraid of invaders. We are afraid of the outsider. Our fear lies in this idea that there's a bad guy who's coming to get us. The movie is about the fact that we are our own worst enemy.
Yep. It's a trip. That's a mind fuck right there. We are. And our minds, there's some people who bust, no disrespect to anyone who's struggling or whatever, but it's just like, we are our own worst enemy. We are the ones that sabotage ourselves. There's a lot of like, even when I was teaching, a lot of people in the tech world who always wanted to be actors and didn't pursue it because the family, everyone, the responsible thing is to go get this, day job. And you held back, or a lot of people hold back. And I don't mean just even with, acting or other forms of art, but we hold back in a lot of things that we want to do. We hold back in maybe traveling or whatever. And so it's like, we are our own worst enemy. And then with it's like the shadow and, is like, that's following you. You got to shake that. You got to find the humor in even your darkest times. And I mean, and then you got the backdrop of Santa Cruz, which,
I know. I love that. I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Yep. And then, and the other thing I love about Jordan's movies is even when it's like scary shit going on or like, suspense or something, he kind of does it. He doesn't always show the blood and guts, but he does, but in a different way. It's like not the whole slasher where you're watching every stabbing or cutting with the scissors or whatever. But he's got the sense of humor too going on. Like one of my favorite lines in Us is the little kid says, "Kiss my anus." Like, at this point, I would have rather use the swear word. Who says it? But it's like, random times, even, the dad's like, cracking a few one-liners when the mom's like, Lupita's like, all of them are very talented actors, and that's it. Brings in young people, these kids. I'm like, wow, they all had to do dual roles. What fun as an actor to begin with, to play like that. But I'm sure that must have been a huge challenge. But that movie was fun. It was freaky. It's up there with my favorite films, and of course the other ones as well with him. Yeah. But what about you? What are your thoughts, Diana?
I just agree with everything that you said. It was really well done. It was really trippy. There's those twists at the end that you aren't expecting. And then I have to ask, what happened? And I have to go read about it and wonder. I just like how it leaves you kind of hanging. And so I just think that that's really cool. Yeah. That keeps you guessing. Everything is always so unpredictable. That's what I love, when you don't really know where it's going. And
exactly.
And then you have to go back and replay what happened toward the beginning, because it has an impact of what happened at the end or how that person reacted. There's just so many things. Like it's almost like you have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
And see it in a different way the second or third time. So
yeah, so brilliant. That's the type of movie that you could just watch over and over again and see it in a different light. It makes you think and question, different things and, the difference. Like it's a lot of symbolic stuff going on. It's like he always starts
right.
Quotes, and the twist in the end that it's, homegirl is actually the twisted one from down underneath the shadow. Crazy shit. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's just all really just thinking outside the box and the twists and the turns. It's fun.
So one of his other films, Keanu, in 2016, this was, he co-wrote and starred in the comedy opposite his close friend, Keegan-Michael Key. I haven't seen this, but I'm pretty sure you did you?
Yes, I did. So as much as I love, this, and one quick side, yes, I saw it and I really loved it. I know he's not I know Jordan Peele's not acting anymore. His choice, respect. You're doing a lot of great things, but he's funny. He is on point. They both are. The whole cast is, Method Man busts in there. It's like, he's, incredibly talented rapper, but he's a great actor. And you got Tiffany Haddish, who's just like so funny. And she really holds her own in that too.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that it's, even when it's, predominantly, let's say, a male cast, but you still have really strong female characters. And I dig that. But yeah, it's funny. It's just goofy ass characters, funny shit. So as much as I'm loving these things that Jordan Peele's working on now, a couple things, but love to see him do more acting. love to see some comedy again, but I respect whatever he's doing because this just makes you laugh. It's off the wall characters. It's kind of like when they did their sketch show, which was off the hook as well. It's like that, but in a longer form and goofy stuff and cats. There was cats in it.
Yeah. Oh, fun. I do have to go watch that. I haven't seen it, so I'll have to look for that. Mm-hmm. That's great. All right. So let's get to the movie Nope. So it's a sci-fi horror film with a bit of comedy and Western thrown in. There are spoilers ahead, although we'll try not to spill all the beans at once or at all. Hopefully we can restrain ourselves a little if somebody hasn't watched it yet. But this movie is about the Haywood family who trains horses for the film business in Southern California. And in the beginning of the film, the father is killed by an object from the sky. So his children, OJ and Emerald, take over and manage the ranch, but have trouble and have to sell their horses to survive. OJ notices something unearthly in the sky, and together the siblings attempt to capture the first ever picture of a presumed UFO and sell it for profit. This stars Daniel Kaluuya as OJ, Keke Palmer as Emerald, Stephen Yeun as Jupe, and Brandon Perea as Angel. So, Shay, I want to know, what made you want to watch this film, and what were your overall thoughts on the movie?
Well, I saw who wrote and directed it, and I said, yes, please. Who's starring in it? Daniel Kaluuya is, like I said, is just really just bringing it left and right. And Stephen Yeun, too. It's like, but I saw the trailer, and I was like, yep, nope, like, oh, hell. Jordan Peele, his mind is his creativity and everything. It's just off the hook and just always on point with the talent. Keke Palmer brings it. Brandon Perea brings it. And I just saw this and I was like, what is this about? And that just drew me in. And just like anything that's like, like futuristic or alien kind of thing going on, I'm like, I'm in on it, because anything's possible.
Yeah, so I was drawn to the film initially because Stephen Yeun was in it, and I love him because he was Glenn in The Walking Dead, which is my all-time favorite show. And he was also in Minari, which he was Oscar nominated for Best Actor. And then also, it's the same reasons because it's a Jordan Peele movie. So I thought, I got to watch this. And also because of Daniel Kaluuya, because he was in Get Out and he won an Oscar for his performance in Judas and the Black Messiah, which is a really good film for anyone who hasn't watched that.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So I appreciate him as an actor. So you have Stephen Yeun, you have Daniel Kaluuya, you have Jordan Peele, and then you have these other actors and actresses that are in it that are new to me, that I've probably seen them in other things, but I didn't know them very well, but they're so good. It was so good. So I was totally hooked with the movie. I really enjoyed it. I loved that it was unexpected and unpredictable. It left me thinking for weeks, even till this day. And I watched it when it first came out. I just think Jordan Peele is brilliant. I just think the way he writes and thinks is just so intelligent, and he's just really got so much talent. Oh, so that is what drew me to want to watch it and what my overall thoughts are. But I also want to talk about the characters and the theme in this movie because I'm curious. Let's start with the characters, and then you can tell me if you saw any themes in this to you, or if you just watched it for purely entertainment.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I thought they were all interesting and unique, and just especially in the sense I want to know even more about them as individuals. Because they're just all so strong characters, just more of their backstory. So strong in the sense that you can have a movie just based on each character. Then you put all those badasses together, and then I just dug the dynamics. I was just like, it's like OJ, he's just kind of doesn't say a whole lot, but is And, Emerald is like, she's just cracking me up, especially with that monologue and in the beginning and telling the story, about, well, actually, the first cowboy, the first, doing all this was a black man. I was like, whoa, right on. That's cool. And, or, the first one that was filmed and they showed it. Right. And I showed a cool clip of that. And I was just like, that's cool. That's tight. With OJ's character, I mean, especially in this movie, it's such good acting and the storytelling because it doesn't always have to have a lot of dialogue. It's just so much is said in the unsaid. And his sister, she is just on fire and cracks me up. And then you got the homeboy that works at Fry's is but he spies on them, but he's doing it for the good of fellow man. He saves his own life, which actually wasn't part of the original thing. He Brandon had to convince. I was reading on the IMDb stuff because I was like looking. If you check out IMDb and look at the movies and you click on the trivia, it's really interesting to read some of the little snippets of the movie. Yeah, and he had to convince him like, no, my character shouldn't die, and I'm glad he didn't die.
Oh gosh, me too.
Am I spilling too many beans? Don't listen to that part then. Because I really liked them. I was just like, I liked that they all became friends and they were all joining forces to like fight this and figuring it all out. And then of course, Stephen Yeun, who's like this, I don't even know, this other dude who's just like, what child star witnessed murder rampage and now owns this weird ass theme park, which I might actually go to if it existed. Yeah, they're just so weird and just like, but so interesting. It's just like, I want to know more about them. Like, it's not really heavy dialogue, but yet there is so much said just with the look, like Steven's, the way he looks at Daniel's character, it's just like, what's the more history here? It's just like this, right. There's a lot of depth, in everyone. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone was. I'm just thinking about what you said about that part. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. That's so true. Oh, man. So I really enjoyed the relationship between the siblings also. And I liked how it changed because in the beginning, we do see how OJ is very reserved. He's quiet. And Emerald is very vivacious and, wants to go become something. It's like she tackles everything. I can't even remember exactly, but doesn't she want to be an actress or a singer, or I don't know. She wants to be a lot of different things, I think.
Yeah, this is her side job. She wasn't real serious about it, like how his dad and him are,
Right.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't really want to be at the ranch, but she's doing it because he needs her to do it. So they're kind of a little bit different, a little bit at odds on what they both want. But then as soon as they figure out something's up there, they're like, oh, and then they just totally change and they're just there for each other and they work really good together. And so I just loved seeing that. I loved seeing their relationship and I thought it was just a really cool relationship. And then, like you had mentioned, Angel, he's a great character. He's this young tech whiz who works at Fry's and he just knows what they need. And then he's very interested in kind of, like, what are they doing? And then he wants to be a part of it. So, and you can tell he's a good guy. So I was glad they let him in. And then, like you said, then there's Ricky Jupe Park, played by Stephen Yeun. And he's this washed up child star who is basically trying to reclaim his fame through this theme park called Jupiter's Claim. And so that's where I saw the theme come in to me, was that the theme was about being a spectacle and the exploitation of originally Gordy, right? The chimpanzee. He was being exploited.
Yes.
He should be out where he needs to be, not in a television show. Yes. But he's in a television show. This balloon pops and, chimpanzee freaks out because he's an animal. He's not a human being. And he reacts and this whole traumatic, tragic event happens that Jupe is a part of. And Jupe survives that. But at the same time, he's trying to reclaim everything. And that's what I feel like everyone is trying to do. Everybody, that's why there's the money shot, the Oprah shot, because they want to capture the shot so they can make money. And, just like it touches upon everybody in here of what they want. Okay. So Jupe was in that movie, a kid sheriff movie, and then he was in Gordy's home. After the tragedy that happened, I think that they took what happened and it was in Mad Magazine and an SNL sketch. So they were still using it. And then he decides to use it by, his place and what he's doing because he just wants to reclaim what he had at one point. Even with the cinematographer and the TMZ reporter, the guy on the motorcycle. I mean, I just think it's so hilarious that this guy just shows up. He's all, I'm from TMZ. And he just wants to get that shot. I mean, it's hysterical.
Yep.
So
too, I really dug, it was just in the beginning there, but Keith David, he's another brilliant actor who's been in so many wonderful movies, even back in the day of like Dead Presidents and stuff, and Clockers for some of those really cool, cool-ass movies from back in the day. But he played their father, and it's unfortunate what happens to him. But even at the end, he's like cracking a joke and stuff. But it just, you saw the little bit of the father-son dynamic there for a minute, and I got emotional when that started to happen. I already spilled the beans on the ending. I don't know why I'm holding back right now. When the dad got attacked and, OJ goes running to, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's one of those, it's a very strong, very strong scene. And even when he's just like, rushing him to the hospital, it's like, oh, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And he knows he's not, but this is what you do when you're trying to, help someone try to save their life. And man, that was heavy. It was like dramatic within the, sometimes some horror movies are just cheesy fun, scare you and, blah, blah, blah. But this is like,
right.
This has also got the some of the comedy, the characters, the off the wall characters, and some of the, dramatic acting, even by actors who also can do comedy. And it's just beautiful, just really beautiful. And I like the theme of the relationships, like what you were saying, the building with the brother and the sister. Now they've got each other's back big time, because it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Did anything surprise you in the movie?
Yeah, the thing that like surprised me, the cinematographer guy that's like all in his movies, and it's like just really, that's his life, played by, Michael Wincott. He comes and helps them, and then he lets himself be taken up. And I really guess that was a money shot for him. It's just like, dude, you're not going to survive. Actually, this is sidebar. I actually didn't get to see all the credits because Homegirl wanted to bounce. I was just like, dude, I love watching the credits. And I also like watching, hey, sometimes it shows in the end that Homeboy survived. I'm like, but because I was just like, no, he's a little weird school. But I was just like, did he really just like keep just filming himself as he's going?
I know.
The other thing that surprised me is that every once in a while, I'd be glancing at some of the weird ass clouds in the sky. I'm like, that's different. I'm not paranoid about it, but I'm just like,
I haven't thought about that, Shay. Now I'm going to
everyone listening, don't think about that. Just enjoy the beauty of Mother Nature and be kind to her, or them, or they, or them, whatever you feel comfortable with. More power to you all. But yeah, it gives me hope.
Oh,
we all in this world together. If it's not your jam, go to a different concert. Chill out, everybody. Just love each other, But it's like, we all see them clouds. And every once in a while, you do the thing, the different animals or whatever, but I'll be looking, I'm like, those clouds are going to move right today. They're going to come later on and eat my guts. So they know. But yeah,
Or they're the same shape of clouds. They're there every day. Why are they hanging out in the same place? Oh my goodness. So, that's funny. So I don't want to give away too much. I'm sure people have watched it, but just in case they haven't, it's the scene in the barn with OJ at the very kind of near beginning when they're first filming. Do you know what I'm talking about? When he thinks he sees something. Oh my gosh. I was like clutching.
Oh, I just got goosebumps. I got scared.
Yeah, I was like clutching because I thought, oh my God. And so then we see what it is, and it was perfect. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. And I was like, oh my God. It was really good. It made me jump.
Just in case people didn't see it, you didn't give away too much because it's perfect.
And then with Gordy, now this was surprising, like in a bad way. Like I think out of everything, that part shook me up the most because, and I know it wasn't real, it didn't really happen, but the fact that it was an animal, I kept thinking, oh gosh, I don't want people to think that these chimpanzees are the worst animal, right? I mean, it was put in the wrong environment, and that's why it was reacting that way, but it was just so disturbing to me. It was so disturbing, that whole scene, because I think it felt so realistic, because that has happened. That has happened to people. And I'm going to go a step further here. That has happened to people. It's been in the news when it happened to a woman that was mauled by a pet chimpanzee. And what she wore to cover herself is basically the same thing that Jupe's co-star wore in the stands. So I thought that was so, oh my gosh, it was just so, it hit so close to home, right? And that's where the horror is. And that's why things are so scary, because, and that's why he has you reflect on things, right? That the way people behave or take things or do things, and the things that happen because of it. So I don't know. It just felt so real to me, and it was scary to me, that whole segment. So that part was scary.
It was like a bad snuff film. Not that there's necessarily any good snuff films. It was, it made me sick to my stomach, but in a good way, because it's like, wow, you're all doing your job as actors and your writer, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I was shocked when Jupe was making sacrifices to Jean Jacket. Whew, I hope I haven't blown it too bad for people that maybe didn't see that, but so, okay, tell me, Shay, what was your favorite part, your favorite moment, your favorite quote in this movie?
That's a lot. I mean, as far as quote, I think just the line, nope, because it's like that, some crazy ass shit that I don't want to even get in the mix with. No question in my mind, nonchalant, fuck this, nope. just nope. I mean,
I know.
I mean, I can't do his acting because he's unique. I mean, everybody is that you're your own person, and it's fine. But, and I don't want to get, now I'm going to really, I keep spilling beans in the end. You're in the middle, and I'm like at the end spilling beans. But let's just say when OJ does something amazing.
Yes. Okay.
That's what I liked. I loved watching, of course, everyone joining forces for the good of mankind, and themselves. Yeah, I dug that. The motorcycle scene, I'm like, what kind of motorcycle is this? I love.
Yeah.
Awesome one. What motorcycle is this? Yeah, there's so many moments and parts that are just, even just seeing what happens on set, which sometimes this does happen when you're on not such a wonderful set, of when OJ was there with the horse, and he's like, hey, don't get behind the horse there, don't, and then they had to bring in the horse. And, shout out to Donna Mills I was like, who is that? I was like, oh my God, it's Donna Mills.
Yeah.
She
I love her.
She was playing prudish, like, I don't know, a little stick up.
Well, her role, her role in like Knots Landing.
Yeah, she was doing such a great job. I'm just like, right on. But yeah, there are some actors that are not. I'm not saying these actors, but who they were portraying, these characters. These characters are some real life douchebags, unfortunately, in all walks of life. In the sense of, doesn't mean just on set, but yeah, there's some people that's just like, no, dude, we're all trying to work together as a team, and I told you, don't do that to the horse. Don't look at them in the eyes. Don't get behind them. And I was just like, yeah, but that was an interesting scene to see that. But it was also kind of making fun of, I think, the people who aren't always so wonderful to work with. Let's just say.
Yeah. For me, my favorite moment, or quote in the movie is exactly, and I think it's probably everybody's, but it's exactly what you said when he says, nope. It's like, it's so perfect. It's a simple line, but it is memorable and it is perfect and it is funny and it is just, it's perfect.
Nope.
Not doing that. Not going out. Not everything that you said. It was just exactly true. And when Lucky didn't want to get out of his cage, I'm like, smart, Lucky. You're a smart horse. You know better than everyone else. I love that. I love it when an animal is smarter than the humans. I'm like, oh, you go, Lucky. And then when OJ knew not to look in anyone's eyes, in an animal's eyes, and in whoever's eyes, because that just kind of sparks what? Confrontation and like, who's the superior, it's all of that, right? So even in the beginning, when they were doing that commercial, he said, don't look the horse in the eye. So it's that, it's that same thing. You take that with you. That's something you learn, and that's something that you use when you're dealing with other animals or other entities, Also, when at the end, when Emerald realizes how she can get her money shot and how that ends up happening, I just thought that was brilliant and it was perfect. I don't even know how she thought about it, but the fact that she went to Jupiter's Claim and knew what she could use to do that, and it worked to her favor. I thought that is just perfect. So, oh man, this is such a good movie. Is there anything else you want to touch upon?
Everything you say, I completely agree with. It's just definitely, even if you get a little scary movies aren't always my thing. Just to enjoy really good writing and really good acting and cinematography and all across the board, the cast and crew doing their job, just to be entertained. And, it's definitely something, definitely a movie to watch and to learn from, especially.
Yeah.
Learn to work with each other, because who knows what is out there, not saying this is going to happen or whatever. Anything's possible. I'm not trying to like freaking one out or like conspiracy theorist or something, but it's just a good movie to watch and just to sit back and, hang out with your closest friends. Watch it in the middle of the day. Don't watch it at night if that scares you. But then if you like movies that are scary, get into it and really enjoy it. Be inspired by it, inspired
exactly.
to live your life, because a damn nickel might take you out.
I know. That's so true.
Your chump change will take you out, knock you the fuck out.
Well, it's funny with you saying that, go live your life, because really that's what this is, right? Don't go looking for easy money. Don't exploit your, I'm not saying that everybody's going to do this, but just to see it in a different way, right? Because this, like I said, the theme to me was exploiting things, exploiting each other, or watching someone else being exploited. It could be any of those things. So even if you're not doing it, if you watch or get sucked into that, it's just that vicious cycle. And we should just all be like, living in our moments, living, having being real, being present with other people, and having our own experiences. So
exactly.
I heard this. I think he was on a podcast, and I heard someone else say, "Oh, is Nope stand for not of planet Earth?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, that is so brilliant. I thought he said yes, it could be that. But then I read somewhere else that he said maybe not. So I don't think he's answering that wholeheartedly, but I just thought that's such a good title. Not of planet Earth. It's not just Nope. Yeah. And also it made me, think about who is the villain in this movie, because my first thought was, oh, it's Jean Jacket, right? But could it have been Jupe because of everything that happened to him and then what he was doing? Although to me, not really, but it could be, right? Some people could look at it that way. Or is it the American dream with all that symbolism that we talked about? What people are willing to do to reach that dream, just like the cinematographer. He got the shot, but he wanted a better shot. So he gave his life and because he wanted that shot, right? Or is it worth it? That TMZ motorcycle rider, how far are you willing to go to get that shot? So everybody's like, I've got to do it. I've got to be the ones. So it's like, who is the villain? Who is it really? Oh man. So I know you had mentioned this to me. You had said that you had sent me a link, and it was, that there might be more stories to tell. And it was hinted, from Jordan Peele. And so if there is, another movie, a follow-up or whatever it may be, what would you hope to see in the next film?
Yeah, I mean, I saw something in the trades. It's like, which is a great, resource if you're, interested in films and actors and different things, to see what's going on and what's going to be coming up. But, at the end of the day, it's just keep doing what he's doing, like no pressure. I mean, it's not like, oh, Get Out was good. Now I get Us. It's got to get better and better. It's not, and I'm not even trying to say that's what he's thinking. I'm not trying to like put words in someone's mouth or anything like that. It's like each are completely different, but brilliant. And it's just like, it just keep making stories, taking those risks and putting this stuff out here, putting like, some of these well-known actors and putting less known actors that have a lot of talent and credits, but might not necessarily be mainstream. So what? Give them an opportunity. There's a lot of content out there. Why any of us are out of work right now, I don't know. Hair, makeup, wardrobe, that's another talent. We can all bring what we bring, but let him keep doing his thing. Go see these movies, support these movies, go to the movie theater. You a little still concerned with the cooties, and I don't want to make light of any of that kind of stuff. I shouldn't, but go to if there's a drive-in, or it just, definitely support these kinds of films. As much as I love these movies that he's doing, I'd love to, of course, like I said earlier, see some of his comedy again. And I'd love to see him act again, but no pressure there. It's a triple threat, he's got a lot going on there. And I love that he does the theme of being taken over, like body snatcher kind of stuff going on, in a lot of his movies. Or just that fear of the unknown and stuff. So just keep doing what he does. And I'd love to see more.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with what you just said. I think that for me, I would love to see, of course, the siblings. Of course, we want to see siblings. I mean, if he did a new movie and it was along the same line, great. But I would love to see these characters again. I would love to see Angel again. Where would we go from here? Would it be they're still on the ranch? Would it be that they made a bunch of money? Would it be, maybe they're not fulfilled after having all that money and thinking that they might be, or how do people treat them? Or maybe they get canceled because that's what people tend to do. They get canceled. So there's just so many avenues that this could take. And, oh my gosh, wait, I have to mention this. So people were talking about a sequel, and there is somebody, which you probably saw, there was a character named Nobody.
Yeah.
And he was credited. When I was watching the trailer today, I could have swore I saw him. In fact, I took a picture of the trailer. I'm like, I think that's the guy. And in the original trailer, I think when everybody's running out, and I assume they're running out of at Jupiter's claim, out of his place, they're all running all over the place. This guy's walking in, but it's only for a second. And I thought, I don't remember that in the movie, but it must have been, but it was probably so quick. And I thought, why is this guy walking in and everybody else is walking out? But I would not have recognized this guy. And I think it's this guy. I wouldn't have recognized this guy if I hadn't saw it on IMDb, although I have to go back and see if it's really the same guy. But I'm going to text you the picture.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because Nobody
and show you what I saw. So sorry, everybody, right there, but I'm putting little pieces together like the rest of everyone who wants to see more of Nope and these characters and see what happens. So, I just really appreciate Jordan Peele and his movies. And I just love movies that make us think and reflect, which is what he does. And I just love that. So everybody go watch it. And Shay is right. Go to the movie theater. I mean, go to the drive-ins. That was a great suggestion. Go to the drive-ins. Why not? You know, that's such a great idea. Get out there however you can. So, that was a great conversation, Shay, on Nope. Thank you for your insights on that.
Oh, thank you.
So I'd love to know, do you have any TV or movie recommendations?
So I watch a little bit here and there. Do love my sports as well. The Deep End, that's a Teal Swan. It's a documentary. It's interesting because whatever your religion is, more power to you as long as you treat yourself good and others, you know. And then I'm more of a spiritual, like universe kind of stuff, and I can grasp how some of that's happening there, and then how it's more a little culty. I could be wrong. I'm not trying to judge because I always have an open mind, even if I don't agree with something. I try to see where the other people are coming from. But I like these kinds of things. You know, it just scares me. That's a movie in itself. Euphoria. Oh my gosh, that is just. The actors are killing it in that. I mean, just it's so good.
Zendaya is so good in that. So yeah. The actor, a lot of the actors are great in that, actually.
All of them. They're all bringing it. And I don't know if anyone else has this experience, but when I watch that, and then I go to sleep, I have trippy dreams. I'm not scared. It's not nightmare. I have trippy, cool dreams. And I'm like, Euphoria dreams. What is this? You know. But the other thing is, I do watch still a lot of old school stuff that was around before I was a kid. Stuff that I grew up on. Sometimes I watch it just for entertainment. Some of it I'm studying. It's sometimes it's particular actors or whatever. But I love Getting Golden with the Golden Girls. Rest in peace to all the brilliance on that. Taxi, Good Times, Living Single, The Carol Burnett Show, SNL, just to name a few. I dig it. I dig it all.
I love those. What's so funny? Okay, this is, it just came to me because we were talking about it. Oh, I know. We were watching Jurassic World and we watched one of the dinosaurs and I said, oh, that reminds me of Fred Flintstone at the gravel pit. And I thought, how come they don't have the Flintstones on? I'm like, that was hysterical. I love the Flintstones. So, I thought, man, they should put that out there. I don't know. It must be on some channel.
I think it is because I do occasionally pop that one on. And I do like cartoons too, like Bob's Burger and Rick and Morty and Simpsons, Family Guy and all that. And Bless the Hearts, that was a good one. It only had 3 seasons. I want to say Me TV, Decades. Some of these networks carry these older shows.
Yeah.
But check it out.
I do want to recommend, I have so many things I've been watching, like so many, because I watch everything out there. I just love TV and movies. But believe this or not, I narrowed my recommendations down, but I'm not going to elaborate too much. I'm just going to kind of name them and say a few things about them. So, Sandman on Netflix. I didn't think I was going to really love this. I just thought, oh, I'll just put it on and see it. Oh my gosh, I got sucked in. It was so good. It's a fantasy drama on the comic books written by Neil Gaiman and published by DC Comics. The main character is Morpheus, aka Dream, who's played by Tom Sturridge excellently. It is perfect. I love him. I didn't know him before this, but he is so perfect. He is one of the 7 Endless, which are all siblings, and they take care of their own realm. Like one is destiny, one is death, one is desire. They're not all good. Some want to take over other people's realms, but Morpheus is the ruler of dreams and nightmares, and he is kidnapped by a human for 100 years. And we see it. It's the first episode. And he finally escapes and tries to restore his realm because he's been gone and not manning his realm. And so he needs the whole season. He's trying to gather these, artifacts, whatever it is that he needs to regain his power and restore his realm. And you go with him on this journey. But I love this. There's one episode where it's completely in a diner. And actually, Dream isn't even in it, which is kind of shocking. But it's so good because some of these episodes feel so standalone, but they're so pivotal to the whole story. Really good. Watch it on Netflix. Super good. I'm also watching House of Dragon on HBO, which is a prequel to Game of Thrones about the internal succession war within House Targaryen. And it's 172 years before the birth of Daenerys Targaryen. It's really good. It's so good. I'm so gripped. I was a Game of Thrones fan and I'm in for this one. A lot of stuff happens. The king being the firstborn, just having a daughter, just all these things are just so good. It took $20 million an episode to produce the first season. And and the dragons and the CGI are incredible and of course very costly. Also, Lord of the Rings Ring of Power is on Prime. This is also a prequel to Lord of the Rings. It's the Second Age, Middle Earth, thousands of years before Lord of the Rings, and it's a story leading up to the creation of Sauron's ring. This is really good too, and I'm not going to say too much about it, but I will say that Galadriel is played by Morfydd Clark, and her character is played by Cate Blanchett in The Lord of the Rings. So this is, back 1,000 years and her beginning. And it's so good. We meet Harfoots, which are hobbits' ancestors, which is kind of cool. We just meet a lot of new characters. It's beautiful. It's magnificent. The cinematography is amazing. Now this series was $715 million for the first season. And it was $250 million to acquire the rights. I know that Netflix and Prime were vying for this, and I guess Prime paid the higher price. But you can see it. It is the most expensive TV ever made. But I can tell you that all three of them are just so mesmerizing. I'm not even a fantasy person. If someone said, "Oh, do you want to watch a fantasy show?" I'd be all, "No, not really." But look, here I'm recommending 3 separate fantasies series because they've just gripped me. And maybe it's because they've spent so much money and it looks so beautiful and the stories are so good and the acting is so well done. But I do want to say I love my musicals. I love my rom-coms. I love all the other stories that are out there. But for right now, I do want to recommend those. Was there something you were going to say, Shay?
Nope, I agree with you. I have not seen these, but I love your descriptions and your passion for it. It makes me very interested. I'm like, adding it to my list of many.
I'll be interested. Let me know when you watch them and which one you choose to watch. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. All right. Thank you, Shay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you so much for joining me and for all your insight and your recommendations, and I hope you will come back to play.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. You're a wonderful person, wonderful improviser, and I really love what you're doing on this, and it's good times. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I had a good times.
All right. I know, good times. All right. Before we break out into song, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We are grateful you tuned in, and we hope something we said today resonated with you, gave you a chuckle, some happiness, some positivity, or inspiration. Please go to screensandfocus.com and subscribe to our website to stay up to date, and tell a friend. We would love more members of our TV club. You can also check out our blog on TV and movie recommendations. We'll be back with The Walking Dead when it premieres October 2nd. We'll see you next time.
Peace out. Have fun.
Bye.